So this match is between Maja from Colombia and Sarah Sonnichsen. I have George coming right now, so he will be much more accurate in name. She's from Denmark. Will be the 148 elimination matches. And here we don't have the pressure we have this morning with the having not only to fight for passing to the next phase in the World Championship, but also obtaining Olympic quota places. Compound is still not Olympic division, so here these archers are competing and fighting to go to the finals, but that's it. It's not a second aim or second goal like the recurve archers has this morning. Giving a little update of recurve men right now after the 124 elimination matches. There are still 12 countries that can obtain individual quota place. So most probably in the 116 elimination it could be resolved, or in the 1-8. So until tomorrow we won't see what is happening. And the match is starting. And as also we have mentioned several times, this is a non-alternate shooting format. It's not the way we used to do the finals. The finals is in alternate format. And here we do it like that because it's another match like the rest of the 48 matches are in the field of play. So we don't have the possibility, or we don't feel it's fair to make them shoot alternate when the rest of the field is shooting non-alternate format. We can see the special form of Maja. She has a way to aim with the put the string, the position on the face, and aiming with the other eyes, not with the one that normally is done. And it's quite interesting. He has been many years in the circuit, first representing Slovenia and then in Colombia, and she got married with a Colombian guy, lucky him, that is at the same time his coach. So we have husband and wife here working together. And Maja started with a 26 when Sarah got a 28. And we remind everybody that this is not the set system, this is a cumulative scoring. And I'm fortunate to have here, just arriving right now, a good friend, George Tekmichov, the voice in archery, who will keep the comment this afternoon. I will stay for half an hour and then he will have better company here. But George, welcome. Thank you very much for coming again.
Muchas gracias, amigo. ¿Cómo está?
Your voice is fantastic. I'm very good. Muy bien, gracias. And especially I'm very good because sitting here in the booth and not staying there.
Okay.
It's better.
Oh boy, the conditions on the field today, they are nothing to be envied.
No.
You know, this is a beautiful place, Copenhagen, and the first time we came here was a few years ago when we had the World Cup final in Copenhagen, right?
Correct.
Which was down in the waterfront.
Yes.
Beautiful place.
Fantastic.
On the water, surrounded by buildings in a sort of like a canal.
That
right?
was the old harbor of the city.
Old harbor.
And it's curious because Nyhavn means
New.
the new harbor.
But it was actually the old
port,
harbor.
But it was in the old time they call it the new one. It's already
Yeah.
old. Yes, correct.
Fantastic venue, by the way.
Amazing.
Because you had spectators on both sides looking down onto the shooting platform and no wind.
You're right.
There was nothing in terms of wind. The temperatures were about the same, but we were lucky to have good weather.
Yes, but because in fact the weather in this time of the year here in Copenhagen is not this one. This is really strange.
You're right. Our good friend Jorn Bjerendal tells me, yes, we have white winter and now we have green winter. He told us that a couple of days ago.
White winter and green winter. That's a good one.
We were on the practice field talking about his great daughter,
Yes.
and Christine, Bjerendal, of course, has been shooting very well. And we talked a little bit about, what it's like to be close to home. And he pointed out that, this weather is not what we expected. And that's unfortunate. But, You know, the archers are standing up to it. I don't hear any complaints out there when I'm walking up and down the line.
No, I think archers have learned that complaining when you are competing is not positive attitude.
Exactly.
You have to find solution and you have to take it like it is. And thank you at Matt CTO 2009 for giving a great welcome to George. Excellent. Ring GT here.
Wow, look at this. It's live internet stuff.
Yes.
That could be dangerous.
No. We have been interacting this morning. We were checking
great.
how many countries were connected. We have a roll call here in internet.
Wow.
We get more than 20 countries logging in.
That's awesome.
And we allow them to make questions and we answer as much as we can, because the goal of this video stream is not make the regular TV commentary style, but it's giving information what our audience don't see, what is behind the scene, what's happening in the field of play, and give a bit of inside story, because what they see, we don't need to comment, they see it. And sometimes we come back to the match, like right now, Marcen is leading by 2 points. No, it's losing by 2 points.
Well, we got a draw, right? Or we got it. No, sorry, you're right.
No, we are not in the set system.
You're right. Never mind.
We are regular scoring and 2 points leading for Sonnichsen. How do you pronounce this? You are the good one.
Sonnichsen. The N is missing off the scoreboard because it only handles so many characters.
Correct.
So she's the home favorite. Let's hope well for both of these shooters. But in the case of Miss Sonnichsen, obviously if she makes it to the finals, we're going to have a more enthusiastic crowd, I have to say.
Yeah, we were talking this morning, the pressure to be in the host country, and Maja, for example, with this upset, being the face of the championship in the poster, in the banners, the image, and since 2 years dreaming to go to the finals instead of winning the World Championship like she did in Belek, to come here and be in the finals in the hometown. It's a lot of pressure, so local archers are dreaming to shoot in downtown Copenhagen in the city, and this is additional pressure.
Well, and you know, they're going to have, is it true that we're going to have a member of the royal family for the finals?
It seems so. Okay, we have USA, Luxembourg, Europe.
Oh yeah, they're checking in.
Paris, France, they're checking New Zealand.
See that? Somebody said very dangerous.
China.
When I said it's dangerous to
India,
Michigan,
but in China,
Luxembourg.
France. Good.
Zealand.
We are making another roll call here.
What time is it in New Zealand? It's got to be early.
Indeed, a different one that here, and hopefully not raining like here. Finland showing up. Good.
Well, you know, I was talking to one of my friends from Australia, and they said they had snow in Sydney the other day, or near Sydney the other day, and that they've had a cold winter down there, which is a surprise.
Yes, we were also talking yesterday in the different hemisphere. We have the north one, now it's summer, but in the south one it's winter. And people who come from those, they are shooting indoor and they have to prepare the outdoor. And in this match, we could say that our Danish archer could be used to this weather, but don't forget that Maja, she is from Slovenia, so she's been living for several years in Colombia. I think she has not forgot what is the winter in Slovenia.
No doubt. And Maja is such a great competitor, such a tough competitor.
10 hours more.
So late at night in New Zealand.
Thank you, Marcos Barclay. Thank you very much. And in Melbourne.
Had snow in Melbourne too. Look at that. Yeah.
Good. Let's come back to the form. We will
back on the field of play, and we're
who's
back.
Who's coming later to replace me? Someone
it's
who
going to
really
be Steve Anderson.
Steve Anderson, and he will talk more about
the big
compound.
El Gato Grande.
El Gato Grande.
Which sounds like a bad villainous character, you know.
Good.
Oh, look out! It's El Gato Grande. It's a dangerous thing.
Okay, still keeping the lead of 2. We were talking about a different form, and Maja has quite a specific position because she's aiming with the left eye.
Yeah, she is unsighted in her right eye. That's X10, nice shot.
It's very unique.
Actually not.
No,
there's been
archers.
A number. Yeah, there was Randy Holland back in the 1990s, top American archer. Same situation, unsighted in one eye and what we call cross eye, you know. So normally Maja would be expected to be shooting on the opposite hand.
Yep.
But she's adapted. So
we have this morning discussion about how to select archer, the left hand or right hand, by choosing the eye
dominance.
Dominance. And it was an interesting discussion here, but I think she didn't choose this from the beginning, and she has to adapt.
That arrow that you just saw could be critical. There's a liner 10 and another 10 and what could be a 9. So this could be very close right now on this end, and it could be that we're looking at a very close match overall.
We have our spotter, and I don't see any asterisks, so for them it's quite clear. And it seems that Maja has 9, 10, 10, and Sonnichsen has 9, 10, 10. So
I'm going to agree with that. I think that's it. Yeah. So that's a 2-point advantage there for Ms. Sonnichsen. we were talking about handedness.
Yes.
A lot of top archers have actually selected their handedness with the bow based on dominant eye. Denise Parker comes to mind as one. At the age of 14, she won the Pan American Games back in 1987. She had only picked up a bow a couple of years before, and she had been properly instructed to select the correct eye.
Good. And
so she ended up she's right-handed, naturally right-handed,
yes.
but she shoots left-handed.
Okay. And as we did this morning, we'll try to give you an update what has happened in the rest of the matches.
Okay, we've got some important shooters in some of these other matches, I'll point out. Laura Longo of Italy, university champion, 24-27 as of the last update. So we're waiting for one end to be caught up with the system. That's this end right here.
It's not that one end. The thing is, we are running our match here live, George, and then the system
so we're
is
just waiting.
Here.
So as of the first end,
yes.
It was a 3-point advantage for Katie Roth.
That's correct.
And
we have
Sakineh Ghansempur of Iran, trailing Della Hadnani of Indonesia by 1 point. Inge van Kaspel of Netherlands, a highly accomplished shooter, 2-point advantage over Margaret Elnesdottir of Ireland, who I shot next to at the Vegas shoot. She's a shooter from Iceland.
And let's pick some of our, let's say,
Deli Thrisayadinda won the Asian Grand Prix. She's from Indonesia. Right now she has a 1-point lead over Yumiko Honda of Japan, who won the World Cup Indoor about 3 years ago, Miss Honda. Yesim Bostan, one of the up-and-coming younger shooters, junior champion from Turkey.
29 against 26 to Olena from Ukraine.
That's right. Ivana Budin of Croatia, trailing Tricia Oshiro of Canada. I'm not familiar with Tricia, but it looks like she's doing well.
Canada 27, Croatia 25.
Runa Greideland of Norway has a big advantage right now. It looks like the other archer from Iceland that she is shooting against, Miss Magnusdottir, has had a problem on that first end, it appears. Irina Markovic with an updated score right now. She is looking at a 6-point lead over her opponent from Italy. Linda Ochoa of Mexico has a 1-point lead over Gizem Kotzaman of Turkey.
Correct.
Sherry Gale from Australia has a 1-point lead over Anya Johansson of the Faroe Islands.
And let me jump in for Andrea Marcos, 57, from Spain, against Sophie Stahl-Kranz from Sweden, 51.
Yep. Let's see, Erika Anir, who's moved here to Denmark, has a 2-point disadvantage against Sylvia Barkhold of Austria.
And we have to talk again about the top 8 archers. They are not shooting this 148 elimination. Archers ranked in the qualification, they 1 to 8 are not shooting now. They will join the competition 116. So all these archers that we see now has been ranked from the position 9 to lower.
Just a couple of other shooters to mention. Fiona McLean from Canada, an acquaintance of mine for the past 30 years. I used to shoot with Fiona and her partner Sean when we were in Toronto at the Archers of Caledon, and Fiona right now is ahead of the great Sandrine Van Dionant by 3 points. Sandrine, of course, a former recurve shooter for France, and now very successful shooting compound.
And before she was very good in compound, came to recurve and
back
then
and
back
forth.
in compound.
Yeah, she's a multiplayer. Huh? She's awesome.
Yes. But France has not been a good day yesterday and today for France.
What is up there? What's going on?
It's tough because you can have 1 or 2 bad results, but most of your archers having the bad result, it's very hard punishment to a federation, to work of the coaches. For sure, they have done the best to get them ready, but they will have to analyze what has happened here and try to find solution, because there's still option for them in the Olympic Games to get places. But they really
the biggest federation.
They really are. Yes, they really touchdown. I saw them sad. I saw them a bit low, and it's like UK. Great Britain was also very disappointed yesterday with the result of the men and women team. They were expecting more.
Something unusual happened with UK, Juan Carlos. I spoke to Larry Godfrey in Antalya a month and a half ago, and he talked about seeing me here, and he's not here.
Yep.
At some point, the UK decided to substitute in younger shooters for some reason.
It's clear that you need to renew the team with young people, but how to do it and when to do it is something very individual, and you don't have the full picture to evaluate, but it's clear that younger archers has much more pressure, and it's not easy to handle here when they have the full responsibility of the team. When you have someone experienced and can manage this, sometimes help, but who knows what really happened. But the fact is that the result was not good for them, and they will have to work harder, different,
you just have to
still progress for next season, and try to catch some.
You just have to wonder whether the timing was appropriate because of the importance of those Olympic slots for this particular event.
Good.
Well, we've got a great match going on here. Let's turn our attention back to it right now. And Ms. Sonnichsen of Denmark is looking at a 3-point lead right now after 9 arrows. And of course, it's 15 arrows in one of these matches. Let's talk about the target a little bit, because we may have some people tuning in who aren't familiar with it.
And the distance.
And
we are not in 70 anymore.
It's 50 meters.
We were.
You know the trouble with these TV presentations and these YouTube type presentations?
That's what I was going to say right now.
You just can't get the scale.
That's it.
You can't get the scale.
We will receive comment that we don't see exactly, or we don't feel what is if it's 50. Now you look this image of the field of play.
We have an image here called a camera 3. That's it. It's up right now. That's a good image.
Target and you don't know.
Now you see what it looks like to the shooter.
50 look like 55.
Yeah, sure. Because the camera is a little further back. But realistically, look at that. When you hold the bow up, the target looks smaller than if you hold like a pin for a dress pin, at hand length, right from your eye. That's what the target looks like. So imagine hitting something in the middle of that. 1/10 of a degree in elevation change takes you from the middle of the 10 to the top of the target. So this is a very critical and special person who is capable of consistently shooting dead center time after time after time after time. And you're seeing very close to the finest level of competition right now. This is really nice to see.
And we go back to the 50 meters, recurve was 70. This is not a system, it's cumulative scoring. We are not shooting, alternate shooting, they shoot at the same time. And the target, we call it 80 centimeter because the diameter from the
full-size version.
The full-size version, but here it's not a full-size version because these archers, they really don't miss more or less the yellow. So we keep some colors to help to aim. But we see the target has, we call it the 80 centimeter target face, 6 rings because it has 6 rings, go from 10 to the 5. And that's what we see right now here. Yesterday we saw 2 because it's a team and we were shooting each archer, or let's say 2 arrows per target, 3 arrows per target, in the team.
So a lot of people ask, why is it?
Here is just 3.
Why is it the compounds, which is the more accurate, the more technical part of our sport, why do they have a closer target?
That's a very good question, and thank you for bringing it up. When World Archery was deciding to make different compound to recurve, the discussion was, should we move compound further because it's more accurate and recurve shorter? And we kept recurve longer for simple and one big reason. In recurve, you can see the fly of the arrow. In super slow motion, that is turning, is flexing, and the wind is affecting because the parabol is higher, and you can really see. And this is a very impressive image that is much more or less the brand of our sport.
Yeah.
And if you go back to the Olympic in Beijing 2008 with this rain, and you could see a super slow motion camera with archers leaving the bow and seeing the flight. When in compound, in 70 meter, it's so flat that you cannot see it, and it's not flexing because with the release, and it's not turning so much. So it's more boring shot in TV, not the sport, of course. So we decided compound is much more accurate, so have to be longer distance. But in indoor is really what the compounds are dominating.
18 meters.
18 meters. So let's put it back closer. And we have comments of some archers, why not keep 70 for both? We want to make it different, to have a chance to put them Olympic, to really see the difference in scoring and equipment and distance and in type of archers, type of game.
The formal term is differentiation, and we had a differentiation commission of athletes looking at ways to make compound different enough from recurve that the IOC would go, yes, this is a different sport, it deserves its own medals someday in the Olympic Games.
Correct.
And that's the real goal here, right?
And that's what it is. And we try some other method, like the hit-miss system was not successful in compound. Took out excitement. We saw archers sometimes more time missing than hitting. We don't want to give it too much of top archers missing more than hitting. So we went back to the scoring because in compound an archer can make all 10. Very often the match is about, let's see if he's not making the 9, if he make a full score. And very often they're close to this full perfect score.
And you know the crowd loves that. The people love that. I have been lucky enough to have announced at a few archery events where top level scores or world record scores were set, and people, the crowd, the spectators love it.
Yep.
Of course the archers love it too.
You feel it when it's silence, and the first one who make a 9 is, you hear the audience. Good, let's go back to the match. Wow, this is a good
10-10-10.
30, that's...
Yeah, Maja has just made up potentially some of the gap. It's a 2-point difference now with 3 arrows to go. It's going to be tough for her to win, but if she keeps up the pressure, things could change.
And yes, in compound they are so tight and so high level that it's more or less about not missing the 10, when in recurve is trying to make the 10.
That's exactly right.
So in compound the archers are supposed to make 10, and every 9 you do is you're giving possibilities to your opponent. When in recurve you are more or less in, and any 10 you are doing, you are escalating in this match. But you know, they're talking about the 10-10-10. Your 10-10-10 is more or less branded, eh? George is the famous in our archery circuit for this 10-10-10 that many try to copy, imitate, or improve, but there's no way. This is only one George making 10-10-10. This is George Tekmichov, now working for Easton. You are the jumping guy, Easton, then 2 or 3 years Hoyt, then coming back to Easton.
Well,
you are a polyphacetic, we say that, no?
It's like the hot potato. Nobody wants to hold it too long, so you get sent from one division to another, but it's all the same company. So
we could say no one wants to hold it, or we could say everybody wants to have you, so you have to share your...
No, it's just nobody wants to hold it. No, just kidding. I think.
Okay.
I did get an email this morning, though.
Let's say if you don't come back tomorrow, it's because I don't want to hold you here.
That's right. That's right. No, I got an email this morning.
Yes.
I got it from Mark Pizzoni, our president at Easton, who said that he really liked listening to what we were doing because he knew that I was working for a change, is what he said.
So
but
they were checking you're working. Good.
Yes, yes.
So we are talking about uniforms here. We could adopt the beach volleyball uniform rule.
I'm not going to say a word about that.
No,
there are some archers that would look great in a beach volleyball uniform, and I'll say that, nothing else. That's it.
Let's say in a serious way, where archer has been concerned of the look of the athletes and the field of play, we have adopted some concern and rules for making our athletes and our coaches look better. Okay. We want to be seen, especially since we start being more and more visible in TV, to be seen as a professional sport. And now the decision is how we want to be seen, as a cool sport with very fancy and sexy or interesting clothing, or more like a golf serious player, more classic. And this is where some of the rule has take place. I don't think we are ready to look like the beach volleyball men or women, and but we indeed have helped to get the uniform better shape, more design. We were talking yesterday about it's more and more design and interesting individual exclusive design of the. It's not the classic polo with the color, and we can really see this evolving in the way we in World Archery like. Let's look at funny, professional, and have some personality.
You know, when I look at teams and I look at who looks professional and who has a look that you want to emulate, every time somebody asks me a question along those lines, I have only one answer. Only one answer. It's Korea.
Korea, yes.
You know, the Koreans always are professional. They travel wearing a nice uniform. When they land at the airport, they're in a nice uniform. They walk together. They, on the field of play right now, are all dressed exactly alike. You'll notice they are all wearing the vest. They're all wearing the hat. They look like what they are, which is true professionals.
And we are many teams. France has been always famous for getting a good uniform, and especially having design, have an interesting design and different design for the male and the female uniform. Italy, they are always uniform, probably not so fashion as some of the French ones. And I know that my Italian friend will be hurt because Italy is a country of fashion and style.
But France, you know, especially, and forgive me, I know it sounds perhaps a little sexist, I don't intend it, but the French compound women in particular, have always been gorgeous in their uniforms.
Japan also go very uniform, but
Japan's
more
very-
classical way. They go with suit in the airport. They come
Yes.
here. In the opening ceremony, you see that what team is really taking care of. Colombia, Venezuela. So that has improved a lot, and I think we are very proud to see. And linked to this, our judges, our staff, our event team.
Yes.
We have a uniform provided by our sponsor Fila.
Yes.
And really, it's part. We want to be seen professional. We also have to wear professional.
I like the comment that was just made by Ivan Tomac. The archers' outfits should be classy. It's a privilege to be an archer on pro scene. I agree. I completely agree.
There have been a lot of discussion. It's very often when you go to marketing people, it's about who you want to touch, what is the audience, and this is something interesting. What is our market in archery? What is our market? Are we more like basketball, a bit of hip hop, rap, cool, and middle-aged or kids, teenagers, or are we more about golf, the middle class, high class? Having said that, whenever we look at archery, we are quite a family sport, from the kids
Yes.
to the teenagers
Yes.
to the middle age to the adult and even the grandparents. So it's difficult to touch the audience, the market with the uniform, because we are so wise and so open that let's look professional at least.
I totally agree. You know, that's my taste. I know that, you know, our friend Jim Easton had that in mind. You know, it was Jim that felt that everybody should have a tucked-in shirt, should have a nice, clean presentation. He was that way himself, and I think that he kind of set the bar back in the 1980s and 90s for the improvements to that sort of thing.
A man who saved our sport more or less from the Olympic and has been a visionary. And let's go back to after 15 arrows, we have Maja, still 2 points behind. Maja from Colombia, Maja Marcen, and Sarah Sonnichsen from Denmark, leading by 2 points, 140, 142. It seems that she is not able to come back. This 2 point difference in the first end is still there.
Yeah. So that settles it. We have a situation here where we will be looking at Ms. Sonnichsen moving on, and we'll have the rest of the scores coming up shortly. We've got them here on our results system from Ian Sale, and in just a moment we'll check those. But it's looking like a decisive victory for Ms. Sonnichsen of Denmark, and a congratulations to Maja Marcen of Colombia, hanging tight in there for the last end at 10-10-8. She had a chance, JC, she had a chance to tie it up if she'd shot 10-10-10, so it's unfortunate, but
Yes.
she did her best. I have no doubt about that.
Yes.